You have said that your body thinks it's a 90-year-old woman with emphysema. How are you feeling this morning?
I have been speaking in days since my diagnosis. So today is day 14. I can walk up to 3 minutes and my saturation will go from 99 to 88 to 90. So it's much better than the 80% it was a few days ago. I'm not where it's supposed to be. The reason I said that is I am 38 years old and my body is not healing fast enough.
Oh, it's got to be frustrating. I'm sure you would like to get better more quickly. Now, when you first suspected that you might have COVID-19 14 days ago, you were reluctant to call 911 because you didn't want your children to see the paramedics. Talk to me about that moment.
I had a lot of difficulty breathing. I had a lot of difficulty breathing, and my daughter was sleeping nearby. My 6-year-old son was nearby, and I couldn't catch my breath because I was drowning in my lungs, and I was breathing faster, and I checked my home pulse ox, and it was down to almost 85, and I knew if I called 911 what EMT would want to do to somebody like me who was working this hard to breathe. So I got down on my knees and I put my forehead to the ground and I prayed to God. I prayed Psalm 91. I prayed to be under his wing and to heal me and to give me time and to let me live. Because I was so scared of them seeing me leaving my house intubated and like one of my patients. And and that's what I did. I prayed, and then I prayed for time to say goodbye in the form of a video.
You made a video to say goodbye to your kids. Tell me about that.
I was so short of breath. I couldn't breathe, and I just wanted to tell my kids that they are the most important thing in the world to me, and Mommy was a doctor, but I never stopped caring about them. And, things like treat the world good. It's been great to us, and I love you, and I want to be there, but I can't. But be amazing, be nice, and then I just that's the most important thing, right? When you can't breathe, I thought of my children and how I can say goodbye in the best way, and that was a video that they would get in 5 years.
I suppose the nice thing is that you can give them that positive message about changing the world personally. Now, personally, 1 month from now or 1 year from now as you are recovering, which is a blessing, and we're all so thankful for that. Dealing with your kids, you have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. I know it has been one of the most draining things. You haven't been able to be with them. You've been FaceTiming with them, and I understand one of your children, and they know you're a doctor and they know what you're going through, flat out asks you, Mommy, are you going to die like your patients? That must have been horrible.
It's heartbreaking. Physicians, healthcare workers, anybody who is on the front line doing whatever you do, when we go to work and there is feelings that we're going to come home with coronavirus. My daughter, I spoke to my son, and my daughter says, Mommy, like, are you going to be like those patients that you treat who are dying? And yesterday I showed them the video, and my daughter said, oh, but you're alive and you made this video? And I was like, yes, by God's grace, I'm alive. But the fear that I might get sick, the fear I might get worse, like, I'm not Dr. John anymore. I'm a patient, and I'm a mom, and a mom who's very scared of this still.
When are you going to be able to hug your kids again?
Unfortunately, I started coughing a lot more on day 14. So my wonderful primary care physician, I will be quarantined for another 7 to 14 days. Unfortunately, so my kids are hugging the air as I walk 8 feet away from them. So God willing, in 2 weeks.
How are you getting through this? I mean, how are you getting through, in addition to trying to walk when you can and taking care of yourself? Obviously, you're a doctor. How are you getting through this physically and emotionally?
Interestingly, there is something that we do to patients in the critical care unit called proning them, where they lie on their stomach, and we're trying to redistribute their ventilation perfusion mismatch to oxygenate. So I called a colleague, and I've been lying on my stomach for 18 hours a day. I do not recommend you do this at home, but I did what I would practice in the critical care unit at home. And it's physically exhausting. I don't know when I sleep, when I wake up, but by God's grace, it's been working. And my saturations every time I prone have increased from almost 84 to 95%. So, and how am I dealing with it emotionally? My faith, my community, my friends, my family, my 66-year-old mother, who's my strength in my house, and my kids who FaceTime and send me messages, and I get to see them for an hour a day at most.
But I'm sure that hour means everything. You are a lucky, lucky mother to have the love of those children, to have the love of your own mother, to have the love of your community. We are behind you. We look forward to that moment 2 weeks from now when you get to hug your children. That's going to be an amazing hug.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us this morning. Lie down, get better.
Thank you.
So this morning, hospitals in Detroit are overwhelmed with coronavirus patients. We're going to speak to the head of the area's biggest hospital system next. Julie, it's John Berman. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I'm sorry.
You're amazing.
I know the other person didn't cry.
What are you talking about? You can do whatever you... Listen, you're the sick one. Do whatever you want. Get better. It's
I know, but the guy
natural.
right before was amazing. He was like, oh, sorry.
Listen, thank you so much for being with us.